welcome back to Met Gala Luncheon. I'm your host, Sarah Van Turenhout, and I'm joined by
Rosalinda.
And this is the podcast where we dive into our favorite reality TV shows and just see the craziness that ensues. This week, we're looking at episode 3 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Everybody Needs a Switzerland. Now, that title's just kind of ironic because as we talked about last episode, being the Switzerland friend never ends well.
Nope. It's basically just begging for conflict against you as opposed to the two people you're trying to be Switzerland against.
No, exactly.
It gives them a common enemy.
Right? They can both gang up like, why don't you have an opinion on this?
Exactly.
So, I mean, just from that title alone, we know we have an exciting episode.
Yeah, let's get to it.
All right. So we actually start off this episode with a kind of light note. It's kind of weird, honestly. Lisa was taking her son out for like food, but like she was talking to him saying that he needs to know the 10 commandments.
So I guess at LDS school, Bible school or whatever, it was a thing.
Yeah. And she was like, "Oh, like list off 2 commandments." And he was like, "Thou shalt do something bad." And then she's like, "Oh, well, what's something bad?" And the first thing he said was, looking at porn.
I'm like, I don't know what our children are doing because like literally I get that like kids grow up really fast, but you're 7.
Yeah, like literally 7 years old.
7-year-olds should not be like thinking or knowing about what looking at porn means.
Yeah, like why was that his first response? And smoking.
Yeah, smoking. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, behind the scenes, is Lisa's husband just a guy who smokes in secret and watches porn?
I think probably, honestly.
Maybe that's why they should get a divorce.
Oh, no. They're not the ones.
Oh, good Lord. See, I did it again.
Confused.
Darn it. I hate that. Yes, you're right. You're correct. I will get it right by episode 6. Maybe. Sorry, you are correct.
Yes.
This is going to be the funny thing about our podcast that I can't keep Meredith and Lisa apart.
I know. Anyone want to start taking bets as to when my mom will get it correct? I don't know. Yeah. Maybe by the reunion, but that's questionable.
Yeah, no, they are definitely an interesting set. And the funny thing to me is, she is kind of very preachy and, kind of like trying to get them all together. Is he the one that needs to hustle more, or is he the he needs some more grit?
Yeah.
Like literally, he's got to stop, he needs to hustle more and not keep thinking about porn while he's at the 7-year-old porn.
I know. They grow up so fast these days.
Anyway.
But they're also kind of living my childhood dream. I'm pretty sure it was this episode. But they Lisa was saying how she's not the typical stay-at-home housewife making food. And then you see this montage of them going to 6+ different fast food restaurants, which is really just what I ever wanted as a child was to just go I'll have fries from Wendy's and then, get chicken nuggets from McDonald's and then get a milkshake from wherever, that's the life.
Yeah, I guess it is the life for someone. But yeah, no, it is kind of funny. I mean, I kind of felt like, yeah, that was living the life of excess for them.
Oh yeah,
this is where you've made it when you can go to 6 different fast food chains for your meal.
I know.
One meal.
Well, in a Porsche too. There was a lot to unpack.
Such is the life of a Salt Lake City housewife. Yeah.
And then we kind of transitioned to a little more serious of a conversation with Heather, when she's planning a baby shower for 5 of her employees who just happen to be pregnant at the same time. I mean, what are the odds?
They're Mormons.
Well, yeah, maybe it's a calendar, a Google calendar invite, everyone's got to conceive on this date or
maybe.
But anyways, she's preparing for the baby shower and she's with her assistant and Jen. And we kind of get to know Heather some more. I mean, we already know her as this very real, down-to-earth person, but now we get to find out more about her divorce.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because I think I alluded to this earlier when, you're talking at different times when she's talked, and it's very clear that she's very self-conscious about the divorce itself. And I think we're going to learn more and more how, partly how Mormonism and how her upbringing kind of put her in a situation where she just wasn't, she felt like she had to get married. And then she realized, oops, maybe this wasn't for her. But she stayed in the marriage and had kids and did all the things you're supposed to do, but was incredibly unhappy.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it didn't sound like it was a love marriage.
No, I mean, she even like outwardly admitted that she had never been in love before, which honestly, like, you know, when you're married to someone, you have 3 kids, that's like really sad. She's like, yeah, I was never in love.
Yeah, it's you know, that's the interesting thing to me. You know, you have Mary who marries her step grandpa.
Yeah.
And, you
although
know,
I don't know if that was for love.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't for love, but she kind of at some point, you know, is like, it worked out, like
I guess,
kind of thing, and they're still married. So,
True.
And they had a child. So, but it seems a little. It's very melancholy, and I kind of feel like she wants to, not as the fallen Mormon, because you know we know that she's still, somewhat attending church, even though she's not.
Yeah, I think she's
in
like
the fold.
Yeah, she's not in the fold, but I think she still wants to have a connection with the church.
I think it's very important to her. I just think that it's like one of these. It's like almost like the Amish. Like, you know, they're rejecting her. Like she's not necessarily reject them.
Yeah, it's a one-sided relationship right now.
And at the moment, we don't know who initiated this divorce. I mean, she definitely sounds like she had some kind of revelation that this probably wasn't the happiest thing for her. But it's not clear, again, who initiated the divorce. But she is sad about it. She is sad about it.
I think the husband initiated the divorce because, like, there's a line in there, and actually, I'm pretty sure she stated it, but this line alone kind of alludes to that, is that she was like, oh, it's better to be, you know, a sad wife than to be divorced.
Oh,
so
yeah.
she'd rather be unhappy than divorced. So, like, clearly her happiness was not, like, the catalyst for them getting, like, separated.
Right. And the other thing is, though, which is interesting, is that now that she is divorced, she almost wants to be a little evangelist as to don't, like, fall into the trap. Like, try to actually, I mean, because when they're doing this baby shower, she's just kind of like, I got to let them know that, you know, it's not going to all be sunshine and roses and rainbows and unicorns.
She has a very pessimistic outlook on marriage. And
I know. She's like, you guys all got married way too soon, which is probably true.
Yeah, they all look like my age, which I'm 21. It's just a little scary.
Yeah, but that's a thing in the LDS church. I mean, literally, you get married young, so you can start having kids right away and get them ready to be good little, you know,
pop them out,
conversionists for, you know, Brigham Young.
Yeah. Although I will say, you know, as much as we've kind of slandered Jen, but not really, you know, we've shown our dislike of Jen per se. I kind of agreed with what she was telling Heather in this conversation. And that, like, Heather is setting up a good foundation and example for her daughters, showing, like, if you're unhappy, you don't have to settle. And that's okay. And I mean, even if Heather hasn't really internalized that lesson for herself, I think the fact that she's, like, getting up every day, still being a good mom, showing her that, like, you can still live outside of the church and outside of marriage and be happy, that she's showing her young daughters that, you know, they don't have to settle.
Yeah, no, I think she's being a good role model. And I think she's really trying to also be a good role model for her employees. Because even though it's kind of, you know, just over the top, silly baby shower, I think she really wants to make sure that those employees come back and stay employees. So they have something that's actually theirs. Even though they may all leave to just be wives, but they have to know that there's more to they need to know their worth.
From there, after that, actually pretty nice heart to heart, we kind of moved to a more comical scene of Meredith getting ready for Jen to come over. And she's making a margarita with Vita tequila. Not definitely not placed in a way where you see the brand at all.
She is no Bethany Frankel.
No, yeah. The product placement was a little too on the nose there. But she's making this, like, margarita, frozen margarita, and she forgot to put on the lid, and it just went everywhere. I mean, clearly this woman has never used a blender in her life.
Yeah, and I know that I guess in the first episode, I think she does say that she doesn't drink, but I'm not sure that's true.
No. Lisa doesn't drink.
Again,
Meredith drink. Meredith.
Gummit.
She's take 2. We have to do a counter on how many times my mom mistakes Lisa and
Meredith.
Meredith.
But again, I mean,
because Meredith is Jewish. There's nothing wrong with Jewish
having
people
a little
drink.
Yeah, but my thing is like I just don't understand. Yeah, why you would just forget the blender.
Yeah, and then when she went to go clean it, her Brooks was like, "Do we have a mop?" And she was like, "I guess." I have no clue where it is. Like, she doesn't know where anything in her house is, much less cleaning supplies, how to cook. Not even cook, use a blender. She's, really the 21st century housewife.
Yeah, but that just kind of actually gets us right into Brooks, where again, we're starting to see Brooks, where at first you're like, oh, okay, that's a sweet boy who's, taken some time off to be with his mother in her time of need.
Yeah.
But then he's just like, I need to steal the scene.
Yeah, kind of. Because, we have Jen comes into the scene, and she was talking about high kicks and that how her and her mom were going to do high kicks for something. But, Brooks and his sister, which I can now not remember her name, were like, oh, what are high kicks? What does that mean? And Jen was like, oh, I can't show you because I'll flash you. And they're like, no, show us. And then she does. And then Brooke has the audacity to be like, oh my gosh, I have seen parts of that woman that I should never have seen. Although from our angle, it didn't really look like she was showing anything. But I mean, I guess maybe he did see something he shouldn't have seen. But he kind of started it. And then he was like, oh my God, this is so unbecoming. This is horrible. Why would you act this way?
Again, he was having this over the top housewives reaction to this.
I know. It reminded me, if any of y'all are on TikTok, of Bozeman. He does dramatic housewives reactions, but it had that sharp cut, ding, with a knife grating. And he was like, oh my God, I can't believe what I'm seeing. It was just over the top.
Yeah, I mean, he was it was basically he was trying to be a little scene stealer, which,
yeah. Sorry,
Brooks. I mean, or people who love Brooks. I mean,
I still like Brooks.
He's a good enough kid. I'm just saying. I think he's kind of overplaying for the camera.
Yeah, he just needs to be himself. I think he's funny.
Yeah, I think
but he
so
just
too.
Doesn't. He's doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
But although I will say Jen kind of did cross the line when I guess Brooks and his sister was feeling uncomfortable. Because she was like, even though you came out of your mom's vagina, I'm still your mother too. And it was just okay, that's just kind of weird.
Yeah, as you would know, I think if any of my friends had said that to you, you'd be like, okay, there's a problem with that person.
I'm going to go home now.
Exactly. You're a little bit odd. And the other thing with Brooks is that he's kind of too involved in his mom's social life.
He definitely is, because you see the next day, he's like, well, that was kind of crazy how Jen acted in your own home. And then Meredith kind of brings up how, Jen wants to have a sleepover after Whitney's 20th inspired party. She wanted to have a sleepover. And Brooks was like, well, that's definitely not going to happen. And it's just who are you?
If your mom wants to have a friend over, she can have a friend over.
Yeah, and then he was like, oh, well, Meredith, will never have time to have a sleepover because she's a CEO. And my thing, it's if she's going to all these parties and things, I think she has time for a sleepover.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is I just kind of feel he just made it sound like he was dictating to his mother. That's not going to happen. And that's
it's not his house.
It's not his house. I don't want my kid telling me that's not going to happen. And then he uses a little emotional manipulation by saying, well, my sister and I want to spend time with you, which fine, that's good. Mm-hmm. But that didn't come first.
No, it definitely did not. It was to push her over the edge.
Yeah, it was to definitely convince her.
Yeah.
That, that's what she had to do, because if not, she'd be depriving her children of, quality time.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was going to be Grace's last night in Salt Lake.
It was, but I think the thing is that he could have come up with all these rational arguments hey, like, no, it's not like, it's definitely not going to happen. You say, Mom, it's Grace's last night. We want to spend some time with you. Mm-hmm. And I think that would have been seen as like, okay, I didn't think about that, or I forgot that was the thing, and I'll change my plans. But it's just like he just started off like a little dictator and just like moved on to emotional manipulation to seal the deal.
I mean, maybe he learned it from his dad.
Yeah, maybe so. Sounds like a pattern.
Yeah, some not so good with tact. But like, then though, okay, ridiculousness aside, she texts Jen saying that, oh, gotta cancel the sleepover. I want to spend time with my kids. And then Jen goes kind of on this like tirade, like, oh my God, she's betraying me. She's a stab in the back. She hates me. Where's the loyalty? Like, nobody actually wants to hang out with their kids. Like, your kids don't want to spend time with you. Which is just like, slow your roll. Slow your roll.
Maybe your kids don't want to spend time with you.
Yeah, you and all of your 8 assistants.
Yeah, they don't want to tell you about their sexting.
They're sexting or
you're just getting awkward
AIDS for kissing.
Yeah, you were just awkward when you are around them. So maybe they don't want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
But, okay, like she has said her piece. She's not saying, I'm going out with somebody else, or I'm like just choosing to like blow you off. I think spending time with your kids is a legitimate reason that you can like tell your friend that, and again, her daughter's going away. It's not like, I mean, Jen is going to be there.
Jen's going to be there the next
day and the next day and the next day.
And I just can't get over the fact that everything is a personal dig to Jen. Like every act, it's like Jen thinks she's the main character, and everything everyone does is obviously directly linked to how they feel or think about Mary.
Yeah, I kind of remember there was a comedian once that was making fun of women and the fact that they're all so overly dramatic. And they were kind of making fun of that. You're saying once that like, yes, it's like you go to the grocery store and the cashier and the bag lady are having a big fight. Like, I'm going to kill you. It was like, that's it. It's over. It's like, no, not everything is like
so dramatic.
Just, get over yourself, Jen. Again,
Jen needs to channel Zen Jen.
Yeah, and the thing is,
if she
like,
exists.
Yeah, and it's like it's not a respect thing if someone blows off a sleepover with you.
Yeah, you can reschedule.
Literally, I'm saying sleepover, and we're talking about grown women.
Yeah, like 40-year-old women. It's like, calm down. It's just, typical Jen Shah fashion.
Yeah, so we will move from one like serious, like, super dramatic thing
to one Mary Cosby. So we see her first again, talking with her son Robert, who she had with, again, her step grandfather. And she's talking about moving him to a boarding school in LA because she thinks that he's not learning anything and he's spending too much time with his girlfriend, which just seems a little overprotective, I think. Yeah. Like, why is she so against this girlfriend?
Well, I think she wants him to really concentrate and like actually figure out what he wants to do, because she kind of feels like he's just coasting. And I mean, okay, what teenager who's a junior and has a girlfriend is not going to want to say, I want to stay here?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she's just like, don't you want to go there? Like, her whole thing was like, it's not like you're getting the same education you got in New York, and this one is in LA.
Yeah.
Like, that's supposed to be like, oh, I get to leave all my friends and leave my girlfriend, and I'm already a junior, and just because I'm going to LA, that's supposed to tempt me to be there.
Although, like, that's the whole thing that kind of gets me, is that she wants him to concentrate and be, focused on school. Is that really good to be sending, like, a 17-year-old boy alone to LA to do whatever he wants?
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound very responsible
that's,
at
like,
all.
Antithetical to what she's trying to do.
Yeah, and I just love the fact that, I mean, speaking of Switzerland, I mean, Robert Sr. is there.
Yeah, he has nothing substantive to say to this conversation besides make a smoothie mid-conversation, which is really awkward. It's like, I can't hear you.
I know. So Mary's a little bit of a she kind of has the pants in that family.
Oh, most definitely.
I know. I guess it's because it's grandma's money.
That's true. That's
so
true.
I think he understands from where his bread is buttered.
Yeah. Although I think it is kind of crazy how she was just like, even if he doesn't know it yet, he's moving. Which is just like, I wouldn't appreciate that if you did that.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was cool. I think that was just crazy. So,
but I mean, then we kind of move on to a kind of more level-headed version, if you want to say, of Mary with her dinner with Meredith. We actually get to know a little bit about Meredith, but mostly about Mary and kind of her situation, how she got into marrying her step-grandpa, and just like what married life is like.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is she very honestly says that she also thinks this was a really weird thing. And she was not necessarily for it either. But her grandma was like, I want you to have all the things I never had growing up.
Like my step-grandma that I really wanted.
No, she was talking about the property, the church, and the money.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did not want her step-grandpa. But literally, I think that, and then you find out that, that it's caused a rift in her family, right? She doesn't talk to her mother.
Yeah.
Because her mother wanted the step-grandpa.
Yeah, I think she wanted the money.
She wanted the money, but she wanted Robert Sr. And so the thought that, again, I mean, I think we had this discussion. I'm not sure legally you can will a person to somebody else in your will. I mean, he's not really property.
Yeah, that's just.
But she mentions that it's in the will.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not to bring some like gossip columnist stuff into here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Someone said who used to be in the church, I think. It was on Reddit, so a really credible source. But it was saying how, like, apparently Mary and Robert Sr. were hooking up before they even got married and before Grandma passed away.
Well, yeah, I'm wondering if that's just, like, maybe somebody from the mom faction who wants to put it out there. Because then we get the story about, like, Mary and her, like, reluctance.
I know, but maybe that's just because, like, that's what's expected. Like, who wants to be like, yeah, I was really ready to jump his bones?
I know, but she said that after, like, things had kind of...
After a month of faking her period?
Yeah, after that. Some people have long periods.
Thank God for male ineptitude.
Are you still on it?
Yeah. Didn't you know it lasts 3 months?
But, like... You have to go sit in a hut somewhere.
I know. Thank you, U.S. sex education.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, but the thing is that she said that once she got to know him, she was like super excited. Like, it was like she couldn't have felt like she had a better partner. And she was like, oh, my grandma.
Convenient?
Yeah, my grandma picked maybe. I guess you could look at it anyway.
Yeah.
Pick the perfect guy. But then she said once Robert Jr. came in the picture, they were done.
Well, I mean, that's like a normal marriage story, right? I mean, like you're like all in love, and then you have a kid, and then your relationship shifts. I mean, not that's
well, it does shift. It just the way that she said it sounded like okay, then it was over. I mean, there's a thing where yes, your relationship changes, but again, you have to work on keeping your original relationship
alive.
Well, the romance alive, but also just to keep your original relationship because you don't want to lose the friendship either.
No.
It just sounds like now he's just a person she lives with.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, they act that way too.
Yeah. So, and she literally has him whipped.
Oh God, yeah. But again, back to the gossip column. But they were saying too how apparently they both left the church for 3 years, and that Mary got a surgery and had to raise like $100,000+ for her surgery. But when she came back to the church, her skin was lighter and she was blonde and she looked completely different. But like they raised money through the church under the guise that she had some like, really horrible disease and needed the surgery to survive. And that nobody else in the church can be blonde because that's a sin. But she's blonde.
Yeah.
But I don't know this is true. Again,
I mean, this could also just be, mother hatred slander. So
that's true. Take all of this with a grain of salt.
Yeah, we shouldn't go too far into what the with the blogs, as Portia would say, what's in the blogs.
But they really are interesting to look
They
at.
are. But, we'll leave it at that. That, again, she had to marry her step-grandpa who
At
was
22 years old.
Yeah, which is crazy. And so, but then, during that dinner, it's kind of nice because basically Meredith Meredith reaches out to her, and she reaches out to Meredith about what her what Whitney's dad is going through. See,
Well,
now I got a blonde and a brunette.
You're getting Meredith and Whitney confused.
No, that's impossible. But anyway, yes, sorry, no, that Whitney and her dad in his drug addiction.
Yeah, so like before, and I think last episode, Mary invites Whitney's dad, Steve, to come to the church, because he's looking for a safe landing, to reconnect with God. And so during this dinner with Meredith, she was kind of like, Meredith was wanting to get to know Mary better because I don't think they really knew each other pre-filming. And so Mary offers for Meredith to come visit the church while Whitney's coming with her dad, and thought it would be a good idea. And so then we shift to that, which was actually an interesting, really nice moment. You see Mary in her element preaching to her church, which, again, it seems kind of small to be having the amount of money she has. Like,
yeah, you would think the bank she's like, kind of portraying out there is a little Joel Osteen like, or like some major
like arena
Pat Robertson kind of guy, or one of these other mega church peoples. I mean, this doesn't look like a mega church.
It looks like a normal church.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And, again, I don't know very much about the Pentecostal religion, but, it looks like everybody there is really digging not Pastor Mary,
First
but
Lady
First Lady
Mary.
Mary. And she's doing her best. And then, she kind of wraps it up at the end and has everybody pray for her friends, not her new friends.
Whitney's dad, because he didn't bother to learn his name.
I know. But you know what? I mean, she was heartfelt, and the whole church was heartfelt. And
True.
I think that whole thing overwhelmed him in a good way, where he felt loved and he felt like
what he needed.
Yeah, he got what he needed. And that was, I think, very unselfish and sweet of Mary to do.
True.
And it would also, she just showed that she could actually help someone.
She could care for another person.
Yeah, she can. So, she's a complicated woman.
She really is. And I'm excited to pull back her layers as we go through the season.
She is like an onion.
And the blog posts.
Yeah, exactly.
But now we're kind of going, the nice moment from Mary's church, but now we're at the infamous Heather's baby shower, like the white, I don't know, monstrosity is not the right word, but it was kind of a lot.
I guess I'm trying to go back and kind of scan my encyclopedic mind in terms of all things housewives. And it just seems like there are many events like in this housewives theory. Like there's not like basically an episode so far. I mean, we're only at 3, but there's a vow renewal. There's like a big party. There's now a baby shower.
It's like they're trying to jam pack like every single type of event possible in the first part of the season.
I know, it's like mean for people under COVID.
I know, it's like, oh my gosh,
my life is not this exciting.
You're living my dream. Real ones will know that reference.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems contrived. I mean, where are the get-togethers at the houses? Where are the lunches that go bad, or the lunches that you trash talk the other ladies at? Like, let me see some classic housewives.
Yeah, where are people
scenes.
just browsing around shopping?
Yeah, oh my gosh, the shopping scenes. Like, these women do not go shopping. Well, yeah. I want to talk about that later, but yes.
Yeah, no, it is kind of interesting. So, yeah, so they're at the baby shower, and basically Heather's idea of, instead of giving someone diaper pails, she gives them Range Rovers, tiny little Range Rovers for the kids to toddle around on.
Yeah.
And she has this great idea about having everyone bring a baby picture.
Yeah, which actually is kind of cute.
Yeah, that is cute.
But I love that the food they were serving was uncured meats, or was it was it cured meats or whatever pregnant women can't eat, and alcohol. It's just like, it's kind of like she pulled a Jen Shah.
Well, but the thing is like her thing is like all these girls are LDS, so as long as I have some like punch and like some finger sandwiches, they're good.
I know, but then she had all these foods that like pregnant women should not be having.
Again, she's not. Yeah, I mean,
it's just like, okay.
This is for my friends.
This is for me, Whitney, and Jen. The rest of y'all, have fun with your little diaper games.
Yeah, exactly. Have a good time. But I think the dads were there too, right?
Yeah,
which was really odd at a baby shower, because usually baby showers
just usually the
just
mom?
women. Yeah. So it was weird to have a couple
breaking
shower.
Down gender roles.
I mean, there you go. The couple shower now is like moved into the baby shower realm, which maybe that's happened, but like back in the day when I was, coming up, men weren't seen anywhere near a baby shower.
Was Dad not at the... No?
Oh, actually, Dad was at your baby shower. But that's because you showed up to your own baby shower because you were early.
I mean, I couldn't miss a party.
No. So otherwise, he probably wouldn't have been there, but I needed help with the actual baby at my baby shower. There were no games I could play. Like
to play games on the baby?
All those reindeer games already had started.
But yeah, okay. Back to the Heather's baby shower, not my own. We have what I so lovingly call the clean slate squad of Jen, Whitney, and Heather. And Whitney was talking about how she had invited Lisa to her 20s inspired party, and Jen was all about it. She was like, yeah, that's good, we need to move along as a group. And then she like hold the phone, like, is Mary invited to this 20s party? And then Whitney was like, yeah, I like Mary, and I thought we're all good. And then Mary was like, Jen was like, what? No, we're not. I'm not good, even though she already forgave her technically at Meredith's party.
Right. No, so because you knew the minute that she started doing the two fingers, like, I've got my eye on you, she was not Zen Jen. She was not. She just was.
Absolutely not.
She was moving on. She was just going to get another cocktail somewhere.
Yeah.
And, she was probably just realizing, oh, I'm missing my opportunity to be fabulous out amongst my guests. And so I got to like wrap this up. So we will pretend to have a clean slate. But yeah, no, that was definitely something where it was like, okay, well, where did all the kumbaya go?
I know. And she was like, clean slate, dirty slate. B, you're irrelevant. And it was just like about Mary.
Right. But my thing is that if you are having a party, you should be able to invite whoever you'd like to invite.
Yeah, I know. It's Whitney's party. And like Jen has no reason to be like, you can't do that, even because if it's for like everyone else's, like from everyone else's perspective, this whole hospital mess is done. Like Jen hugged Mary, all is well. It's been 6 weeks since that party, and then now it's still a thing. Like, how is this thing still alive?
Right.
This is just crazy.
Like you people need to really move along. So I think that in some ways Whitney was trying just to move it along and just say, come on, let's all get together. It's my party.
Yeah,
like,
not a Jen Shah party.
Right. So
it's a Whitney party.
And my other thing is like, Jen Shah, if you have such reservations about this, then just don't go.
Don't go. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, the thing is that it was almost nice of Whitney to give her the heads up.
No, it was. Well, I mean, Jen did ask.
No, I know, but I'm just saying the fact that Whitney didn't like conceal it.
Yeah.
Knowing that there might be a problem.
Also, though, like, shouldn't Jen know these things? Like, Mary's in the cast. Like, of course she's going to be at the party.
I know, but she really is like, you're either with me or against me kind of thing.
Because, like, when Whitney was talking about Mary, she was talking about her dad and how her experience at the church was so great. She let it slip that Meredith was at the church, too, which, like, just set off Jen again.
Yeah, and again, it was like, Meredith is not your puppet. Like, literally, she is your friend, but she has an independent life. And so
exactly.
If she wants to go for spiritual reasons or for friendship reasons or just to be polite because somebody invited me to something, then that's none of Jen Shah's freaking business.
I know. And again, she's like, this is a personal attack. Like, Meredith, like, calculated how to hurt me the most, Jen, me as Jen. And like, so I'm going to go to Mary's church because I know that would be like a stab in the back to Jen. Which is just like, again, the whole world does not revolve around you, Jen Shah. She went because Mary is a new friend and she invited her. And it's like, it's not that big of a deal. It was like 45 minutes of her life.
Again, you've committed to a reality show. You probably want to have some like filming time. You also want to like get to know who it is these women are that you're interacting with.
You're supposed to be friends with.
You're supposed to be friends with. And like, yeah, just let it be, Jen. Like the whole world, does not revolve around you. I know you think you're queen bee and MVP, but
oh God, yeah.
But literally,
she's not holding the star snowflake.
This I know she isn't.
Heather is.
Heather's got the snowflake. So yeah, the center snowflake, which we know from all Bravo.
That's the
Housewives thing. She's the queen bee.
But then like, so Heather being the mediator she is, was kind of being like, oh well, Meredith is just being like Switzerland, which again from previous housewife franchises we know will always bite you in the butt. And Jen was like, oh well, if you're Switzerland, you're not a real friend. And it's just like, are we in middle school? Like honestly, when I was in middle school, it wasn't even like this. Like this is just, I don't even know.
I know. I mean, my thing is that I mean, again, it's like I said, for Jen, it's like you're either with me or against me. She is like very much like, this is about me. I don't care about you and your agency or your thoughts or your feelings.
Yeah.
Unless it's about how they will affect me.
Yeah, it's like, God forbid someone has a relationship outside of your relationship.
Yeah, and the thing that's even more petty to me was this is about going to church. I mean, what if, Meredith just needed a little religion? What if she just needed someplace to have solace? What if literally she's searching for something? You're going to stop someone from like having any like ability to do something outside the realm to better themselves?
Yeah. I mean, Jen did not know Meredith's reasoning for going to Mary's church. But like, I don't know. I mean, she gives a pass to Whitney because honestly, there's really no reason she shouldn't give a pass to Whitney because
Whitney's trying to help her dad.
Exactly. Well, she's like, that's fine. But Meredith has no reason to go to a church. And it's just like, Meredith was just being nice.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and, Meredith is going through a divorce.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, separation. And so
she is practicing Jewish.
I know she's a practicing Jew, but you can find religion in so many ways. I mean, I think when you're really at a point where you're very sad and confused and whatever, and maybe the things that that are familiar aren't giving you solace. Like sometimes you go out looking for, some people like eat, pray, love. Like literally, like people go out looking for different things that, fulfill them. And maybe she was like, hey, I'll get to know Mary and it's kind of a spiritual thing and I would like to get out of my head and maybe this would be interesting. I mean, I'm not saying it's that deep, but I'm just saying it could be. And if that's true, then maybe you would want your friend to find some solace.
I know. It's just, they're really like marking the lines and like picking teams. And that's just where we're at.
I know. This is like Mean Girls, but on a weird, silly plane.
I know. Well, from that lovely baby shower, we go to the next event because there's just not enough events in this show. We have Whitney's 20s party that's happening at this actually kind of cool prohibition bar that's like when
you walk in, it's like an antique shop.
Yeah.
And then I guess you give a password or something, then they open up a secret door.
Yeah.
The wall opens up or something.
Mm-hmm, yeah, like the bookshelf, which actually was pretty cool, honestly. That I would want to check that out. But she has a 20s theme party, and you see the ladies getting ready, kind of. We see Lisa and Meredith getting ready at Lisa's house, and Lisa didn't have any 20s themed clothing, which I just find it hard to believe because that cannot be the first 20s party she's gone to, Miss Queen of Sundance.
And Queen of Sundance. You couldn't have you don't have like some kind of entree to costume shops or something in the area. I mean, you could go on, you could literally go online to Amazon and get yourself a flapper costume.
Exactly. Although they don't want to be basic bitches.
I know they're not going to be basic bitches. But my favorite thing is like when we're talking about Jen, right? She like has this whole persona mapped out, which is, so you have the two extremes. You have like I don't know. I do 70s better. Like maybe or something like that. To like
Hollywood madam.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a madam in like a Hollywood madam from the 20s. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, that's super specific. And then she comes out looking like something from the Cotton Club, and I was just like, which is okay.
Yeah.
Not trying to pull any punches there, but maybe you should get your eras right. Like,
I find it ridiculous. Again, I think we're just spoiled by the other franchises. But like all the women, when they have a themed party, they go shopping. You have the shopping scenes. You see them getting like their outfits together, getting on point, But these people are like just looking in their closet. Like, I mean, even us commoners, we go out, Amazon, Nordstrom's, whatever, try to get on theme. But they couldn't even be bothered.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I thought that was just I don't know, it was kind of sloppy in some ways.
Yeah, so we get to the party, and Meredith clearly did not read the party invite because I think she got inspired by Lisa's closet and kind of went 70s theme and then had like a black and white necklace and was like, this is 20s with bell-bottom whatever pants. And it was just like, I mean, I love you, Meredith, but come on.
Yeah. You just gave up there.
Yeah, clearly. But then at this party as well, Whitney had enlisted some strippers, I guess you could say, dancing and things. It gave me like very Moulin Rouge light, like Walmart version.
A bunch of himbos.
Yeah. But like Lisa was really against it. And you're like, they're bringing me the depression and I'm bringing the class or something like that. And it's just like, I feel like when I think of the 20s, I think flapper girls, liquor, sex, great times.
Men in tuxedos.
Yeah.
Like very Gatsby. Like I don't think of guys not wearing shirts and like kind of semi-stripping, which is fine.
Guess, yeah.
So, I mean, so my thing is like, okay, but there is decadence. I get that. I mean, maybe it's the 20s after party that she was going for as opposed to like, the Cotton Club with, or the Plaza.
Well, yeah.
So, but yeah, it was good. I mean, and there were like, were there poles in there too?
No, it was like those like rings, like those
yeah. Like there were contortionists.
Circus ring, yeah.
Yeah. So
which actually felt kind of 20s to me.
No, it did. I mean, I thought it was splashy. It was over the top.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a low key Jen Shah party.
Yeah, I mean, I will say for housewives parties, it was pretty low key.
But nice.
No, it was good. It was good. It was good.
It was good. Yeah. So, but my thing is that yes, I know it was very strange because they just don't seem to be a cohesive bunch.
No, they seem very much like a weird mishmash of people that just all happen to be doing the same show. And they definitely do have housewife personalities, but it's like, do they mesh?
Yeah, I'm not sure they're very ensemble.
No, they're not. I mean, we have like a few pairings. Like Meredith and Lisa actually do get along. And like Whitney and Heather are nice. But like as a group together, like usually in the other franchises, for at least a couple episodes, the whole group gets along. But like this one, we haven't seen a single episode where the whole group is, vibing.
And if they don't get along, they at least can like be with each other.
Yeah. But it's definitely like
they can be cordial.
They can be cordial, yes. Because they're ladies.
Exactly.
But as we kind of like end the episode, we see Jen finally show up to the party fashionably late because the whole show is about Jen. This is the Jen Shah show. But she sees Meredith talking to Mary. And that just like blows a gasket for her because she's like, how can this be? Like, I wanted to give Meredith a shot, but she is talking to Mary, so I can't even give her a shot.
Yeah, and then they end up having this very, like, contentious... I mean, so then, like, she storms off, kind of, and is... Well, anyway, so she's it's not good. Like...
yeah, I mean, it's leading up to an interesting next episode because for the third episode, right? This is third, yeah. We have another two-parter.
That's right. A to be continued.
To be continued. I mean, we have two to-be continued episodes from the start. Even like most seasons of Real Housewives, only like one per season. is to be continued. Or maybe 2. But they're pretty interspersed. It's not back to back. To be continued.
Right. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. It is very strange. And, it again proves, though, the entire, milieu of the housewives is nobody needs a Switzerland because Meredith is in a lose-lose situation. And she doesn't even know it sometimes that she's in it because she's just trying to go about and live her life.
I know. She's like being an adult.
And just by just doing the things that you would do, like going to church with your friend, or trying
talking to a friend,
or just trying to get to know someone, or sitting next to somebody while they're, getting their food, or picking up a drink, or like sitting at a table. You're doing something wrong, and you're markedly doing it to hurt Jen Shah.
Yeah, like that's your only reason for being. like
the hive mind is just to serve Jen Shah.
I mean, I wish I had the self-centeredness sometimes of Jen Shah. Like, that is some self-confidence there.
I know. I mean, it's like, it must be amazing to wake up and be the center of the universe every single day of your life.
I know. I can't even imagine. Like, oh yeah, every single person's actions are a direct assault on me.
Well, and then the other thing is that, because like literally when she was getting ready, her entire glam squad all sat there and just told her how amazing she was.
Yeah. Oh, and then I love how she said, if you didn't say I looked amazing, I would have fired you anyway. It was like, oh my gosh. I know it was a joke, but it was still like, okay.
Yeah. I'm like, and then, it's just like almost beyond belief that here's this woman who must be in her, I'm going to like offend her, I know, in her 40s, I think. Because like Whitney's the youngest one.
Whitney's the youngest. I mean, I think she's probably late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah. But like, so here you are as this, accomplished. I mean, you have 8 assistants.
We don't know what she does.
I know, but you must have accomplished something if you have 8 assistants.
True.
But literally, and this is the minutia you like tend to like. I mean, my thing is like, you want to live and die on this hill for what? Because someone's having a conversation with somebody you don't tend to like, but you've outwardly told everybody that you've moved on.
Yeah, you've forgiven her.
Right. So I don't even understand how all these women are supposed to know how to behave, because what you're saying to them is like, we're good. I'm squashing the beef. I'm going to hug her, because she did hug her in that like weird little dressing room area, whatever. And she said, okay, we're done. And then like, in her confessional, she was like doing the I see you thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think she's like, there has to be something more to this, because otherwise, I mean, she needs like to reevaluate herself.
That's the thing. I just really don't understand like how these other women are supposed to know how to behave.
I mean, yeah, you have to like constantly walk on eggshells. Like, am I going to offend Jen Shah now? I don't know.
Right. I mean, I think that again, I mean, that's her whole Queen Bee attitude.
Her MVP.
Yeah.
Queen Bee.
Yeah, but I mean, aside from like Ramona Singer, like anybody else who's that self-involved.
I mean, come on. Luann is pretty self-involved.
Oh, oh God, yeah, you're right. Luann is
the Countess.
Okay, the Countess and Ramona.
Yeah.
I mean, Ramona, who makes everybody give her $5 to get a bag.
She $100.
Sorry, $100.
She crowdfunded her birthday present from 60 of her closest girlfriends that she talks to 4 to 5 times a week. I can barely manage to talk to like 3 people a week. Like, and that's pushy. That's a good social week.
Right. I mean, this is who she should aspire to be. Like,
I know.
But yeah, no, I guess the thing is that I'm also really impressed. Again, I think we were talking about pretty much Mormon gold, that like, even though it's kind of not as glamorous as Beverly Hills or New York, but they are splashing out some cash for the things that they're doing. I mean, they're just kind of out there. Although, yeah, I mean, it's like the Met Gala or somebody's really great 18th birthday party. Like,
it's hard to say.
Like, these, like, yeah, like New York and New York and Beverly Hills, they're like the thing.
I mean, they literally rent out whole clubs.
Right. Whereas Salt Lake City, it's like somebody's great 18th or 21st birthday party.
Yeah.
It's like, way to go. I got some strippers and like some contortionists, and I've got a theme.
Yep. Good job.
Yeah. All good. Like,
Mission accomplished.
yeah. So, but yeah, so that was yet another, like, and again, like you said, this is going to move on. We are
Next
not
week,
done. So
yeah.
our next episode, we will be
Unpacking the rest of this 20s party.
the meat of the 20s party.
Oh boy. Yeah. I'm excited to see where this goes. I can only imagine what Jen Shah is going to do.
I'm kind of wishing Al Capone would come in and just shoot the whole place up.
Because there's not enough going on. But yeah, that's our episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind leaving us a review, rating us, subscribing, that would be awesome. Really appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
Comment if you have any, thoughts again about, what is a great 20s party? And do you have any 20s gear in your
closet? Would you go shop for a theme?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next time.
Yeah. See ya. Bye.